Sophia stared at the terms of the agreement. The $10 million severance package was correct. Sign it, come on, sign it. My son, my Liam, my bikini-clad babes are all waiting for me. Sophia's hand froze. Oh no, lady. Don't you dare flake out on me now. Not when we're at the 1-yard line. Ms. Blackwell, Mr. Miller, her lawyer asked, is there a problem? Sophia ignored him, her gaze locked onto me, sharp and penetrating. Crap. While my internal monologue was running wild, Sophia suddenly spoke. Her voice was as frosty as ever, but there was something else underneath it. Mr. Miller, could you please step out for a moment? The lawyer looked surprised but gathered his documents with professional poise, gave a slight bow, and exited the conference room. Now it was just the two of us in the massive, silent room. The temperature seemed to drop 20 degrees. Gulp. I swallowed hard. She's not going to kill me and keep the $10 million, is she? That's ruthless. Never trust a capitalist. The corner of Sophia's mouth seemed to twitch ever so slightly. She stood up. The sound of her 4-inch heels clicking on the marble floor echoed in the silence as she walked toward me. Click, clack, click. It sounded like the Grim Reaper's countdown. I instinctively shrank back in my chair. Whoa there, stay back, we can talk this out. I might not be able to fight you, but I can sure as hell scream bloody murder. There are security cameras in here, you know? Sophia stopped right in front of me, looking down at me. Her expression was predatory, like I was some interesting new prey. Adam, she said. Why? Yes, what can I do for you, my dearest wife? I managed, forcing a sycophantic grin. Sun, sand, and bikini-clad babes? She asked, her voice flat and unreadable. My heart dropped into my stomach. Holy crap, how did she know that? Was I talking in my sleep? It's the middle of the day. Is this conference room bugged with some kind of next-gen mind-reading device? And Sophia's eyes roamed down my body. How was the 82 law fight? Boom. An atomic bomb went off in my head. This was it. It was all over. The cat was out of the bag. On pure reflex, I shot up from my chair and executed a perfect 90-degree bow. I'm so sorry, honey. I shouldn't have drunk your wine. I'll go pour out that cheap stuff right now. I swear on my future happiness, I will never touch another drop of your alcohol again. Sophia didn't say a word. I peeked up at her and saw an incredibly complex expression on her face. There was shock, curiosity, and was that a hint of exasperated amusement? So you can actually hear what I'm thinking. I asked tentatively, in my head. Sophia's body went rigid for a split second, her long eyelashes fluttered. Then very slowly, she nodded to me. The world went silent. I felt my entire worldview along with my dreams of sun, sand, and bikini shatter into a million pixels. What kind of paranormal movie plot was this? On the day of our divorce, my wife develops mind-reading powers? You've got to be kidding me, universe. After the initial shock, I quickly regained my composure. As a man who has binged his fair share of weird Netflix shows, I could roll with a bizarre premise. The key question was, when did this start? This morning, Sophia answered, as if she'd plucked the question right out of my head. This morning, I thought back. This morning we performed our usual silent pantomime at the breakfast table. What was I thinking about then? Oh right, this woman is a complete robot, doesn't even make a sound when she eats. But, damn, that body is insane. Even that conservative business suit can't hide those curves. If she ever wore a bikini, damn, what a waste. All that and married to a guy who couldn't care less. I snapped my head up to look at Sophia. A blush was creeping up her neck, spreading across her cheeks with visible speed. You're disgusting, she hissed, forcing the words through clenched teeth. I got all of it. No wonder she'd been looking at me funny all day. No wonder she wouldn't sign the papers. She had heard my honest thoughts. So you're not signing because I complimented your figure? I asked carefully in my mind. Shut up, she snapped, a wave of humiliated anger washing over her face. She took a deep breath, visibly composing herself, and slipped the Ice Queen mask back on. The divorce agreement is on hold, she announced coldly. No, wait. I panicked. Wife, honey, my queen. I was wrong. I was just having random thoughts, I swear. I'll never think that way again. From now on, my mind will be a constant stream of praise for you. I'll sing your virtues. Please, just sign the papers. My island, my bikinis, my $10 million. Sophia let out a cold snort, a playful, dangerous glint in her eyes that I'd never seen before. Too late. With that, she turned and walked away, leaving me with a view of her elegant, resolute back. Hey, Sophia, you can't do this. This is a breach of contract. I'll sue you, I yelled after her. Sue me? She paused at the door and glanced back, the corner of her lip curling into a smirk. Go ahead. I'm sure everyone would love to hear exactly what the great Adam Miller fantasizes about when he looks at his own wife. Me, I had lost, utterly and completely defeated. Against a power like mind reading, I was powerless. Back in our luxurious penthouse apartment overlooking Central Park, I collapsed onto the sofa like a deflated pool toy, devoid of all hope. For the first time in 3 years, this multi-million-dollar apartment felt less like a palace and more like a gilded cage. Sophia came in shortly after, swapping her heels for a pair of house slippers and walking right up to me. Get up, she commanded. What for? Gonna beat me up to vent your anger? Let me tell you, I may not be a fighter, but I can take a punch, I said, adopting a do-your-worst posture. But once it hits you, Sophia rolled her eyes. Go make dinner. Dinner? Me. I pointed at my own nose, incredulous. For 3 years, a private chef had prepared every meal. I'd barely set foot in the kitchen. Were you just thinking that the chef's food has no soul? That it all tastes the same? She said, crossing her arms and looking at me expectantly. You think you can do better? Prove it. I was dumbstruck. I had, in fact, thought exactly that. Hi, I was just BSing. All I know how to make is instant ramen. Then make instant ramen, she said, unmoved. Make 2 bowls, you're having some too. You have a problem with that? No, of course not. To be able to cook for my beautiful wife is the honor of a lifetime. I shot up from the sofa and bolted to the kitchen. A wise man knows when to bend. If I could just humor this woman, get her to change her mind and sign the agreement, I'd perform a circus act for her, let alone make some ramen. I rummaged through the pantry and found 2 packets of fancy imported tonkatsu ramen, studying the instructions on the back as if I were deciphering ancient scrolls. This woman is nuts. She has access to the world's finest cuisine, and she wants instant noodles? What's wrong with her? Then again, she was kind of cute when she was blushing, not so distant and unapproachable. If she was always like this, maybe these last 3 years wouldn't have been so bad. I mumbled to myself, in my head, as I stirred the noodles. Suddenly, a quiet voice came from behind me. The noodles are going to get soggy. I jumped, spinning around to see Sophia leaning against the kitchen doorway, watching me. A faint smile played on her lips. In the soft evening light, without her corporate armor, she looked different. She was wearing a simple cashmere lounge set, her long hair down, and there was a gentleness to her I'd never seen before. My heart skipped a beat. Damn it, this woman is gorgeous, even out of a power suit. It's not fair. A soft pink hue rose on Sophia's cheeks again. She cleared her throat and looked away, feigning nonchalance. Well, get them in the bowls. I scrambled to serve the ramen. We sat at the $1 million mahogany dining table eating $5 noodles. The situation was bizarre. I snuck a glance at her. She was eating in small, delicate bites, her posture perfect as if she were dining at a 3-Michelin-star restaurant. Is it really that good? It's just ramen. Is it possible I have a hidden culinary talent? Am I secretly Gordon Ramsay? Sophia let out a small laugh, not her polite corporate chuckle, but a genuine, eye-crinkling smile. It was like watching a glacier melt in the spring. I found myself staring. In 3 years of marriage, it was the first time I had ever seen her truly smile. What's so funny? I asked. Nothing, she said, shaking her head as she picked up more noodles, the smile still dancing in her eyes. It's just, your ramen is actually pretty good. Of course it is. I puffed up with pride. Let me tell you, there's an art to making it. The timing, the heat. It's a delicate balance. I launched into a long-winded, completely fabricated lecture on my ramen philosophy. Sophia just listened quietly, smiling from time to time. The atmosphere was more comfortable than it had ever been. After dinner, I even volunteered to do the dishes. I didn't know you had a domestic bone in your body, Sophia remarked, leaning against the door frame again, watching me work. Of course, I'm the model modern husband, I declared, while my inner voice said, anything for my $10 million. Once I get that money, I'm hiring a maid and never washing another dish in my life. Oh, Sophia's voice cooled. Is that so? My heart ceased. Crap, wrong thought again. Of course not. I scrambled to recover. I mean, it's all for you, honey. A woman with hands as beautiful as yours shouldn't be washing dishes. That's what I'm here for. I said it with so much conviction, I almost believed it myself. Sophia was silent for a moment. Then she let out a soft and walked away. I breathed a sigh of relief, wiping non-existent sweat from my forehead. Living with a mind reader was a high-stakes game. Every moment was like walking on eggshells. After cleaning up, I dried my hands and started to retreat to my room. For 3 years, we had slept in separate bedrooms. She was the queen in her master suite. I was the lowly consort in the guest room. We kept to our own sides of the castle. Tonight, however, my path was blocked. Sophia was standing in front of my bedroom door, wearing a silk nightgown, arms crossed. She looked like a beautiful, intimidating goddess guarding a temple gate. The thin fabric clung to her curves, and the slit up the side offered a tantalizing glimpse of her long, toned legs. Gulp! I swallowed again. Look away, look away. The flesh is weak. This woman is definitely doing this on purpose. She's trying to seduce me. She wants me to slip up, break the contract, so she has an excuse not to give me the $10 million. What a venomous snake. Adam. Sophia's voice was laced with an annoyance that bordered on fury. Present. You're sleeping in the master bedroom tonight. Huh. I froze. I don't think that's a good idea. The guest room is fine. It's spacious. I have my privacy. What's not a good idea about it? We're husband and wife. She stated as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. We're contract husband and wife. The agreement explicitly states no physical intimacy. I argued. I've changed my mind, she raised an eyebrow. Final interpretation of the agreement rests with me. With that, she turned and sauntered into the master bedroom, leaving me with a look that said, your move. I stood there, my world spinning. This was coercion. I shuffled to the master bedroom door, a war raging in my mind. Do I go in or not? If I go in, we're two consenting adults in one room. Things could happen. What if one thing leads to another? I'm a virtuous man. But if I don't go in, I'll piss her off for sure and my $10 million goes up in smoke. Damn it, for the money, I'll do it. It's not like I'm the one who's going to lose out here. Taking a deep breath, I pushed the door open. The master suite was huge, decorated in the same minimalist, grayscale style as Sophia herself. A massive king-sized bed dominated the center of the room. Sophia was already in it, under the covers with only her head showing. She had her back to me, seemingly asleep. I tiptoed to the other side of the bed, lifted a corner of the duvet, and carefully slid in. The mattress was incredibly soft, and my side sank down. I scooted as close to the edge as possible, leaving a veritable Grand Canyon between us. The air was filled with her light, floral scent. It was intoxicating, and it made my heart beat a little faster. Calm down, Adam. You're a man of principle. You will not be tempted by a beautiful woman. Just repeat the Pledge of Allegiance in your head. I closed my eyes and tried to hypnotize myself into a state of zen. In the darkness, I could hear both of our breathing patterns. Hers was steady and even. She really seemed to be asleep. But my mind refused to quiet down. After all, there's a stunningly beautiful woman lying next to me, a woman who was legally my wife. It would be a lie to say I wasn't thinking about it. Her skin must be so soft, so smooth, and that waist, those legs. Stop. Don't think about it. Nothing good can come from thinking about it. I snapped my eyes open, deciding to turn over and put even more distance between us. Just then, the person beside me moved. Sophia rolled over to face me, and then a smooth, warm arm draped across my waist. A leg followed, tangling with mine. She pressed her entire body against me like an octopus. I turned to stone. Her warm breath tickled my neck. Her soft body was flush against my back, and through the thin fabric of our pajamas, I could feel every incredible curve. My brain shut down. Whoa, 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 what is happening? Is she asleep? Is she sleep cuddling? No, this has to be on purpose. What is she trying to do? Test my self-control? Nobody could resist this. My body began to betray me, reacting on its own. Stay calm, Adam. You can do this. You're a man with a dream of becoming a king of the beach bums. You can't fall at the first hurdle. Think of the sun, the sand, the bikinis. You think about one more bikini-clad woman and see what happens. A cold, indignant voice whispered right next to my ear. My entire body jolted. She wasn't asleep. She had been listening the whole time. Ah, honey, let me explain, I stammered. Explain what? Sophia's voice was muffled and held a note of hurt. Explain why you'd rather fantasize about some imaginary women on a beach than touch me? That's not it. I didn't. Don't be ridiculous. My survival instinct kicked in with a classic three-part denial. Then you're just not able to. I am. I'm very able. I practically yelled. No man can let that accusation stand. Then prove it. As she spoke, her arms and legs tightened around me. She even shifted, deliberately rubbing against me. I felt the volcano inside me begin to rumble. Sophia, don't play with fire, I warned through gritted teeth. I'm playing with fire? What are you going to do about it? Her voice was a taunt. In one swift movement, I rolled over, pinning her beneath me. In the darkness, I couldn't see her expression, but I could feel her sharp intake of breath and the rapid rise and fall of her chest. You asked for this, I thought, a wicked thrill running through me. Then I lowered my head and kissed her. Her lips were even softer than I had imagined, with a hint of sweetness. She was stiff at first, but soon she began to kiss me back, clumsy but eager. The kiss felt like it lasted an eternity. We only broke apart when the need for air became overwhelming. I was breathing heavily, looking down at the woman beneath me. Even though I couldn't see her clearly, I could picture her face, flushed and beautiful, her eyes dark with passion. Damn, I'm getting hooked, I thought. Sophia seemed just as dazed. She reached up her hand, stroking my cheek. Her voice husky and seductive. So, do you still want a divorce? Do I? Hell no. Whoever wants a divorce is an idiot. I lowered my head again, silencing her with another kiss. It was a very, very long night, and I proved to her with irrefutable physical evidence exactly how able I was. The next morning, I woke up sore all over. When I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was Sophia's face, peaceful in sleep. A sliver of sunlight pierced through the curtains, casting a golden glow on her flawless skin. Her long eyelashes rested on her cheeks, her nose was delicate and perfect, and her lips, slightly swollen from the night's activities, looked incredibly inviting. Asleep, she had none of her usual coldness or authority. She looked like a child, unguarded and serene. I stared, captivated. I never realized how cute she is when she's sleeping. Her skin is like porcelain, but man, she's a bed hog. No wonder my back hurts. She's been using me as a human body pillow all night. As if on cue, her eyelashes fluttered. She slowly opened her eyes. Our gazes met, the air crackled. The wild, passionate memories of the previous night came rushing back. I felt awkward. She was even more awkward. Sophia's face instantly turned a shade of crimson that would put a tomato to shame. She shoved me away, pulled the covers over her head, and burrowed underneath like a frightened ostrich. Huh, the great Ice Queen CEO is shy. This is priceless. I cackled internally. Stop laughing. A muffled voice came from under the covers. I'm not laughing, I said, trying my best to keep a straight face. You're laughing in your head, right, mind reader? I cleared my throat, deciding to break the tension. Ah, morning, honey. Did you sleep well? The lump under the cover shifted but didn't respond. Guess I didn't try hard enough last night. She still has the energy to be shy. I'll have to do better tonight. Wear her out so much she can't even speak in the morning. I thought, a wicked grin spreading across my face. Adam, the covers were thrown back. Sophia sat up, glaring at me, her cheeks flushed, her eyes still soft from sleep. The effect was more alluring than intimidating. What on earth goes through that head of yours all day? You do, I blurted out. The words surprised even me. Sophia froze, her expression shifting into something I couldn't quite decipher. The atmosphere in the room changed, becoming charged with a new, unspoken emotion. Ahem, I coughed, changing the subject. Well, time to get up, you've got work. I'm not going to the office today, she said, pulling the duvet up to cover herself, her eyes darting away from mine. You're not? What? I was floored. In the 3 years I'd known her, Sophia was the definition of a workaholic. She'd gone to board meetings with a 102-degree fever. This was unheard of. What for? I asked, genuinely curious. Sophia just shot me a look that said, "It's your fault, you idiot." I understood immediately. After the marathon we did last night, she was probably so sore she could barely walk. How was she supposed to command a boardroom? My bad, my bad. Maybe I did overdo it a little, I thought, feigning remorse. Glad you know, she huffed before slipping out of bed. Her silk nightgown was nowhere to be seen, leaving her perfect body on full display. I felt a familiar heat rise in my chest. Look away, look away. Sensing my stare, Sophia stiffened, quickly grabbing a robe from the closet and disappearing into the bathroom. Listening to the sound of the shower, I lay in bed, a stupid grin on my face as I replayed the night's events. Maybe not getting a divorce wasn't so bad after all. Having a gorgeous wife like this was definitely better than any beach fantasy. Wait a second, I shot up in bed. What was I thinking? What was my original goal? Divorce, freedom, $10 million. I couldn't let one night of passion derail the entire plan. Adam, you weak-willed fool. You're letting a pretty face distract you from your life's ambition of doing nothing. I had to come up with a plan, a way to make her sign those papers willingly. And since she could read my mind, maybe I could use that to my advantage. A brilliant idea began to form. By the time Sophia emerged from the bathroom, I was dressed and had breakfast ready. Simple sandwiches and hot milk. Well, look at you, Mr. Miller. You actually made breakfast. What's the occasion? She asked, drying her hair with a towel, her tone teasing. It is my honor to serve my beautiful wife, I said, pulling out a chair for her. My internal monologue, however, was running a different script. Eat up, honey, get your strength back. You'll need it to argue with me later. Then you'll get so angry you'll sign the divorce papers just to get rid of me. Ha ha ha. Sophia's hand paused on the back of the chair. She gave me a suspicious look before sitting down and taking a small bite of the sandwich. How is it? I asked expectantly. It's fine, she said nonchalantly. Liar. Your brain is screaming, this is delicious, better than that five-star hotel brunch. Women, such complicated creatures. Sophia's chewing slowed and the tips of her ears turned pink. After breakfast, I cleared the table and brought 2 cups of tea to the living room. Honey, we need to talk, I said, sitting across from her with a grave expression. Talk about what? She asked, not even looking up from her cup. Our future, of course. We have a future, I said, my voice thick with emotion. I know we started this as a contract, but after last night, we're a real married couple. I've made a decision. I don't want a divorce. I'm going to take responsibility for you. From this day forward, I'm going to be a good husband. I'm going to love you and take care of you. I delivered the speech with Oscar-worthy sincerity. Inside, however, I was pleading, argue with me. Tell me you don't need me to take responsibility. Tell me you still want the divorce. The second you say it, I can pretend to be heartbroken and sign the papers in a fit of tragic despair. It's the perfect plan. The teacup in Sophia's hands trembled. She looked up, her cool eyes swirling with a storm of emotions. Shock, suspicion, and was that hurt? Adam, she said, her voice a little hoarse. Do you really mean that? Of course. I thumped my chest for emphasis. My mind screamed, no, it's all a lie. I just want my money and my freedom. See through my act, please. Sophia stared at me, her gaze so intense I felt like she was dissecting my soul. After a long moment, she set down her cup and stood up. Understood. With those 2 words, she turned and went back to her room. The door shut with a soft but final click. I was left frozen in place. What? What was that reaction? What does that understood mean? Does she agree to stay married? Or did she see right through my plan? This woman was impossible to read. I ran a hand through my hair, frustrated. So much for my brilliant reverse psychology tactic. I needed a new strategy. Just then, her bedroom door opened again. She had changed into a sharp business suit, instantly transforming back into the formidable CEO. Her eyes, however, were slightly red and puffy, as if she had been crying. My heart sank. Oh no, did I go too far? Did I actually make her cry? I just want a divorce. I don't want to hurt her. She's always so tough. I didn't think she even knew how to cry. I'm going out, she said without looking at me, heading for the door. Where are you going? I asked instinctively. The office. But you took the day off. I'm untaking it. She put on her heels, opened the door, and left without a backward glance. I stared at the empty entryway, a strange, uncomfortable feeling settling in my gut. It felt like guilt. Get a grip, Adam. The goal is divorce, freedom. No time for sentimentality. I shook my head, clearing out the useless emotions. If the soft approach didn't work, it was time to play hardball. I picked up my phone and made a call. Hey, Liam, you free tonight? Let's grab some drinks. Usual spot. That evening, I came home deliberately drunk. I had even spritzed myself with a cocktail of cheap perfume and stale cigarettes smoked from the bar for good measure. I stumbled through the front door. The apartment was dark, a good sign. I fumbled for the light switch, kicked off my shoes, and staggered toward the guest room. Halfway there, the master bedroom door swung open. Sophia stood in the doorway in her nightgown, her face a cold mask. Where have you been? Out. Out with friends. I slurred, letting out a boozy burp in her direction. Friends, male or female? Both, I mumbled vaguely. My inner monologue was working overtime. Hey, are you mad? Your husband was out painting the town red, but you want that divorce. Now go on. Throw the papers in my face. Call me a scumbag and tell me to get lost. The color drained from Sophia's face. She walked toward me, radiating a chill that felt colder than a Siberian winter. Oh, crap. I think I really overdid it this time. Is she gonna hit me? You know what? Fine. A little physical pain is worth it if it gets me my freedom. I closed my eyes, ready for the impact. But the slap never came. Instead, a pair of cool hands cupped my face. I opened my eyes and saw that Sophia's were red-rimmed and swimming with tears. They spilled over, tracing silent paths down her cheeks. Adam, why would you do this to me? She choked out. Do you really want to leave me that badly? I was stunned. I had expected anger, shouting, maybe even violence. I had never, ever expected her to cry, to look so broken, so hurt, like a lost child abandoned by the world. My heart felt like it was being squeezed in a vice. It ached. I didn't. I panicked, trying to deny it. Yes, you did, she cried, her fists beating weakly against my chest. I heard everything you were thinking. The sun, the sand, the bikinis, the freedom, the reverse psychology. You're a liar. A horrible, cruel liar. Her punches had no force, but each one felt like a hammer blow to my heart. She knew. She knew everything. All my pathetic little schemes were a complete joke to her. Looking at her tear-streaked face, all my carefully constructed plans and strategies crumbled into dust. What the hell was I doing? Was I really trying to hurt this woman? A woman who might actually love me? All for some shallow idea of freedom. I'm sorry. I reached out clumsily, trying to wipe away her tears. I was wrong. Please don't cry. She slapped my hand away. Get away from me. I don't want to see you, she sobbed, pushing me. I'm not going anywhere. I pulled her into my arms, holding her tight. Sophia, I'm sorry. I'm a bastard and idiot. Hit me. Yell at me. Just please stop crying. She struggled in my arms, her cries growing louder. I just held on, letting her tears soak the front of my shirt. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the divorce, not the freedom, not the $10 million. All I wanted was to hold her until the world ended. After what felt like an eternity, her sobs subsided into quiet hiccups. I loosened my embrace, cupped her tear-stained face in my hands, and kissed her. This kiss was nothing like the wild passion of the night before. It was filled with tenderness and apology. I gently kissed the salty tears from her cheeks, her eyelids, her lips. She didn't resist. She melted against me, her arms wrapping around my neck. When we finally broke apart, I rested my forehead against hers, looking into her misty eyes. Sophia, I said, my voice full of sincerity, let's not get a divorce, please. And for the first time, my thoughts matched my words completely. Let's not get a divorce, please. I want to build a real life with you. Sophia shuddered, searching my eyes, her own filled with disbelief. Are you telling the truth? This isn't another trick. It's the truth. I held up 3 fingers. I swear, if I'm lying, may I be. She pressed her fingers to my lips, stopping me. Don't, she sniffled, her eyes still red but shining with a brilliant light. Adam, you'd better remember what you said tonight. I'll remember. And no more thinking about bikini-clad women. Never again. My wife is 1,000,000 times hotter than any of them. And no more staying out all night. I'm done. From now on, my nights belong to you. And I'm managing the finances. Can we maybe negotiate that one, She narrowed her eyes. Yours. It's all yours. What's mine is yours. I surrendered instantly. A watery smile broke through her tears. She leaned in and gave me a soft, sweet kiss. That's better. Looking at her, my heart melted completely. So, to celebrate us making up, shouldn't we? I hinted with a mischievous grin. Her face flushed. She playfully smacked my chest. In your dreams. But she didn't pull away. I scooped her up into my arms and strode toward the master bedroom. Life is short. We can't waste a single moment. Adam, put me down. You smell like a brewery. Perfect. A little social lubricant never hurt anyone. The sounds that soon filled the room were of celebration, not argument. The next day, the dynamic between Sophia and me had shifted completely. We'd gone from Arctic roommates to inseparable lovers. I no longer needed an alarm clock. Sophia woke me up with a soft kiss. Wake up, sleepy head, she'd whisper, playfully pinching my nose. Not until I get another kiss. I'd mumble, refusing to move. You wish, she'd say, but she'd always lean in and give me one more peck on the lips. Score, my mind would cheer. My ice queen has turned into a cuddly kitten. I'm the luckiest man alive. Hearing this, a faint blush would color Sophia's cheeks. She'd give me a gentle glare before getting up to get dressed. I'd lie in bed, shamelessly admiring her silhouette as she moved around the walk-in closet. Seriously, with that body, those legs, it's a crime she's not a supermodel. Good thing I'm the only one who gets to see the show. When she emerged fully dressed, she'd have heard my last thought, and the corner of her mouth would be turned up in a smile. Have you had enough, Mr. Miller? Get dressed. You're coming to the office with me today. What? Why? I've grown. I just want to be a professional couch potato. Not an option. She'd come over and smooth down my messy hair. From now on, you're my personal bodyguard and driver, on call 24/7. Does it pay well? What do you think? She'd reply, raising an eyebrow. Fine. It is my honor to serve my beautiful wife, I'd say, finally rolling out of bed. As much as I complained, I was secretly thrilled. What man wouldn't want to spend all day with a woman like her? I drove Sophia's flashy red Ferrari to the office tower downtown. The moment we stepped out of the car, all eyes were on us. Blackwell Industries was a landmark building filled with the city's best and brightest, and they were all staring at me. This guy in jeans and a t-shirt getting out of the driver's side of the CEO's car. Who's that guy driving Ms. Blackwell's car? No idea. He's handsome, but he looks so casual. Definitely not one of us. Could he be her boy toy? I heard the whispers and just grinned. Call me a boy toy, I don't care. Being kept by a woman like Sophia is a privilege. You're all just jealous. Walking beside me, Sophia heard my thoughts and nearly tripped. She jabbed me sharply in the ribs. No inappropriate thoughts at the office, she warned in a low voice. Yes, ma'am, I chirped, smiling. We walked into the lobby side by side. The receptionist's jaw practically hit her desk. Good morning, Ms. Blackwell. Morning. Sophia nodded, heading for a private elevator without breaking stride. I followed, shooting the receptionist a playful wink. Hey, nice lipstick. Adam, do you have a death wish? Sophia's voice floated back, laced with ice. I immediately straightened up and followed her into the elevator. Alone inside, she crossed her arms and gave me a cold smile. Adam, you're impressive. Not even 5 minutes in the building, and you're already hitting on my staff. I was not. I cried, feigning innocence. That was just friendly professional courtesy. Besides, I only have eyes for you, honey. Every other woman in the world looks like a telephone pole to me. I said it with such earnestness I almost convinced myself. The frost on Sophia's face softened a little. See that you don't forget it, she huffed. The elevator doors opened to the top floor. Sophia's executive assistant, Lauren, was already waiting. Good morning, Ms. Blackwell. Lauren's eyes flickered to me for a second, but her professional mask was flawless. And this is my husband, Adam Miller, Sophia said simply. He'll be around the office more often. Mr. Miller, a pleasure, Lauren said politely, though her eyes were filled with burning curiosity. Everyone in their circle knew Sophia was married, but her husband had been a complete ghost for 3 years. A pleasure to meet you too, I said, shaking her hand enthusiastically. Lauren, right? I've heard so much about you. Sophia is always saying how brilliant and beautiful you are, her absolute right hand. You're Sophia. Lauren's eyebrow twitched. Sophia's face darkened. Adam, whoops, slip of the tongue, I said quickly, releasing Lauren's hand and hiding behind Sophia. Lauren, today's schedule, please, Sophia said, shooting me one last glare. Lauren, trying to suppress a smile, began her report. I wandered around the office. It was ridiculously large, taking up half the floor with panoramic views of the city. The decor was cold and minimalist, just like its owner. This woman has no imagination. Her office looks like a showroom catalog. If it were me, I'd have a gaming console over there, a giant beanbag chair, maybe a mini bar. Adam, come here. Sophia's voice cut through my daydreaming. I walked over. She pointed to a small private alcove attached to her main office. You can stay in here from now on. I peered inside. There was a comfort-table-looking sofa, a coffee table, and a bookshelf. Is this for me? Who else? Wow, honey, you're the best. I lunged forward to give her a hug. No PDA at work, she said, pushing me away. Sit down and don't disturb me. She returned to her desk and was instantly absorbed in a stack of documents. I plopped down on my new sofa, feeling like a pampered pet, a very happy pampered pet. I pulled out my phone and started a game. This sofa is pretty nice. Could use a blanket, though, and a cold Coke. It would be perfect. A few minutes later, Lauren knocked and entered, holding a cashmere throw blanket and a glass of iced Coke. Mr. Miller, Miss Blackwell asked me to bring this for you. I looked over at Sophia, who was still focused on her work, not even glancing up. A warm feeling spread through my chest. This woman, always pretending to be so cold, but secretly taking care of my every whim. My wife is the best. I love her so much. I should go over there and kiss her right now. Sophia's pen skidded across the document she was signing, leaving a long black streak. She looked up and shot me a fierce glare that clearly said, "You wouldn't dare." I just grinned and blew her a kiss. Her cheeks turned a lovely shade of pink. For lunch, Sophia had a private caterer deliver food from a high-end restaurant instead of going to the executive dining room. Lauren set everything up and then discreetly excused herself, closing the door behind her. It was just the two of us. Come on, time to eat, Sophia said, waving me over. I put my phone away. The table was laden with 4 different dishes and a soup, all of my favorites. Honey, you're spoiling me, I said, my voice thick with mock emotion. Just eat your food and stop talking nonsense, she replied. But her eyes were soft as she placed a piece of short rib risotto on my plate. As I ate, my mind started to wander. Okay, belly's full. What should we do this afternoon? A little office romance might be too risky, but then again, this desk looks pretty sturdy. Cough, cough. Sophia choked on her soup, her face turning red as she coughed violently. Hey, slow down. No one's gonna steal it, I said, patting her on the back. It's your fault, she gasped, glaring at me. My fault for what? I asked, the picture of innocence. For having such a filthy mind. I rubbed my nose, feeling a little sheepish. I was just trying to spice things up. I don't need that kind of spice, she shot back. After lunch, Sophia announced she was taking a short nap. There was a private lounge with a bed attached to the office. You should take the bed, I offered. And you? I'll just crash on the sofa. No, she said, taking my hand. You're coming with me. Here at the office? I don't think that's appropriate. Why not? She said matter-of-factly. We're legally married. I couldn't argue with that. I followed her into the lounge. It was a cozy room with a plush, inviting bed. Sophia took off her suit jacket, lay down, and patted the empty space beside her. Come here. I obliged, lying down next to her. She immediately snuggled into my arms, finding a comfortable spot. Hold me, she commanded. I wrapped my arms around her. With her head resting on my chest, her breathing soon grew even and calm. Honey, I whispered with a sigh. How am I supposed to sleep like this? With her soft, warm body pressed against mine, sleep was the furthest thing from my mind. Then don't sleep, she murmured, her voice drowsy. Talk to me. About what? Tell me about your life before me. There's not much to tell. I was just another rich kid, wasting my life away. That's not true, she said, shifting slightly in my arms. My grandfather told me you started your own company in college. He said you're doing quite well. I was taken aback. That was a lifetime ago. I had started a small tech venture with some friends, and we'd had some early success, but then my family's business collapsed, and I had to abandon it. I thought no one even remembered. How did you know about that? If I want to know something, I find out, she said softly. Adam, you're not useless. You just never got a real chance. Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. For 3 years, everyone, including me, had accepted the narrative that I was a good-for-nothing living off my wife's fortune. But she saw something else, something more. That's all in the past, I said with a self-deprecating laugh. Now I'm perfectly happy being a slacker. And what's wrong with that? She said, tilting her head up to look at me. I'll support you. Her eyes were shining, reflecting my own stunned face. In that moment, I felt my heart, my soul, my entire being surrendered to her completely. Sophia, I whispered before closing the distance between us. The kiss was gentle and deep, a silent conversation more intimate than words. The city bustled on outside the soundproof windows, but in that room, time stood still. I don't know how long we were in there. I only know that when we finally surfaced, the afternoon sun was casting long shadows across the city. Sophia was draped across my chest, completely spent like a contented cat. Adam, you're an animal, she mumbled, too tired to even sound angry. Now you know what I'm capable of, I said, planting a triumphant kiss on her forehead. Never again at the office, got it? Next time, we'll try the balcony at home, or the shower, or the kitchen. Shut up, she swatted at me, her face beet red. I caught her hand and interlaced our fingers. Sophia, I love you. This time I didn't just think it, I said it out loud. Her body stiffened. I felt a tear fall onto my chest. She buried her face against me, her voice muffled. I love you too. After that day, everything changed. I was still her driver and bodyguard, but I started to expand my duties. While Sophia was in meetings, I would inspect the other departments, claiming I was helping the CEO understand the needs of our employees. Really, I was just there for the gossip. Did you hear Mr. Evans in marketing left his wife for the new intern? No way. The intern isn't even that pretty. You don't get it. Her uncle is one of our biggest clients. I strolled into the break room, coffee cup in hand. What's all the commotion about? Oh, Mr. Miller. The women clambered up instantly. I had become something of a legend in the office, the CEO's mystery husband. They were all a little bit terrified of me. Relax, I said with a grin. We're all colleagues here. What are we talking about? Evans and the intern? Do tell. They exchanged nervous glances, staying silent. Fine, don't tell me, I said, leaning in conspiratorially. I already know. I never liked that guy. He's got shifty eyes. His wife must have been blind to marry him. You know his wife, Mr. Miller? One of the bolder women asked. Nope, I said. But I know your boss, and my Sophia hates guys who cheat on their wives, especially with coworkers. Mark my words, Evans is on his way out. This was only partially true. Sophia did have a strict policy about office conduct, but I was mostly just annoyed by the guy's story and wanted to use my newfound influence for some vigilante justice. My wife is a good person. She wouldn't want to see a woman get treated like that. I'm just helping her uphold justice in her own company. I'm such a good husband. I congratulated myself mentally. Sure enough, that afternoon, Sophia called out Evans in a senior management meeting for his unprofessional conduct and for damaging the company's image. He was suspended indefinitely. The rest of the executives looked terrified. I knew Sophia was sending a message, and she was back in my play. I strolled back into her office, humming a happy tune. Well, aren't you clever, Adam? She said, an amused smile on her face. Using me to carry out your little crusades. What? No, I said with a grin. I was just helping my busy wife with some spring cleaning. What's my reward? I leaned in for a kiss, but she held up a hand. Stop joking around, she said, her expression turning serious. Adam, tell me the truth. Are you actually interested in the business world? Huh? Me? No way. I'm a slacker for life. Are you? She pushed a file across the desk toward me. Then take a look at this. It was a proposal for a bidding war over a huge plot of land upstate. The state was opening it up for development, and every real estate company in the tri-state area was salivating over it, including Blackwell Industries. What's wrong with it? I asked, flipping through the pages. Everyone on my team thinks we should develop it into a luxury housing community. It offers the highest profit margin, she said. But last night, didn't you think that building more houses was boring and that it would be better to build a massive, one-of-a-vacant amusement park? I froze. I had thought that. Lying in bed, I had been daydreaming about how that beautiful, hilly area would be wasted on cookie-cutter mansions. I had imagined a theme park, something to rival Disney, built right into the landscape. I never dreamed she'd taken my sleepy musings seriously. I was just talking nonsense, I said weakly. I don't think so, she said, her eyes shining with excitement. Adam, tell me everything. Your whole vision. What? But, under her intense gaze, I had no choice. I laid out my entire slacker fantasy. A roller coaster that hugged the cliffside, a haunted mansion staffed by professional horror actors, a water park with a massive artificial wave pool for surfing. The more I talked, the more excited I got, and the brighter Sophia's eyes became. When I finally finished, she slammed her hand on the desk and stood up. That's it. We're doing it. What? Doing what? The Upstate project. We're building your amusement park. Are you crazy, Sophia? I stammered, horrified. I was just making things up. This is a multi-billion-dollar project. You can't be serious. I trust you, she said, her gaze unwavering. Adam, I trust your vision. I stared at her, speechless. This incredible woman didn't just love me, she believed in me. She was willing to risk billions of dollars on the daydream of a man everyone else had written off as useless. Sophia, you're insane, I whispered. I know. She smiled a radiant, breathtaking smile. I'm insane about you. Epilogue. 2 years later, the grand opening of Dreamscape Kingdom. The park was a massive success, swarmed with crowds from day one. Sophia and I stood at the top of the tallest castle, looking down at the thousands of smiling faces below. We did it, honey, I said, my voice thick with emotion. Yes, she whispered, we did. She linked her arm through mine, resting her head on my shoulder. The sun was warm and bright. Adam, yeah. Do you still want that divorce? She asked, a playful glint in her eye. Divorce? I laughed. What's that? The word doesn't ring a bell. It was true. The word that had once been my single-minded obsession now sounded like something from a foreign language, a distant, ridiculous dream. I looked down at the woman in my arms, the one who had seen through my facade and helped me become the man I never knew I could be. You know, she said softly, I don't think I can't hear your thoughts anymore. Sometime after we had truly fallen in love, her strange ability had simply faded away. Do you want to? I asked, raising an eyebrow. No need, she smiled, standing on her toes to kiss me. You say everything you need to hear out loud now.